Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. For those that care, for those that it matters to. Are we ready? Kathleen? Mr. Klein?
Oh, yes, we're ready.
All right.
We're ready to go.
Uh-huh.
Let's go to it.
All right, we're off to the races. Well, almost. Hang on a second. Let me get my little stopwatch thing going.
Here it's a Balmoral.
Ben, I don't think we should race.
Here we go.
That's a good idea.
Here we go. Welcome, one and all, to Academic Challenge, the second of our semifinal matches today. I'm Jim Gifford, your host and moderator, featuring this time around teams from Coloma and Lakeshore High Schools. Academic Challenge featuring scholastic competition involving high schools from Berrien and Van Buren counties, sponsored by Waterville Lake Public Schools, Lake Michigan College, Lakeshore Public Schools, and by Chemical Bank. First, as we always do, let's meet the teams, and let's start with Lakeshore. Step up, identify yourselves, what grade you're in.
I'm Anna Haynes, and I'm a senior.
Connor Ashley, senior.
Marno, senior.
Alec Brown, senior.
Okay, Marty, you can pull that thing right up to you there. And from the fine community of Coloma,
Marno Wilcox, senior.
Corey Hamilton, sophomore.
Ben Ball, sophomore.
Brandon Peak, senior.
one and all. We didn't introduce coaches. Anna, your coach is?
Miss Christine Sloan.
And Melina?
Sarah Glisson and Terry Sheehan.
Ta-da! We should be ready to go then. Here are the basics. First and second halves, we announce the value of each question before it's asked. 10 seconds to answer, 15 if it's a math question. When you press your button, please wait to be recognized. No consultation allowed. There will be in the 60-second round, but that's later. I'll be scorekeeping and judging as well, as will Bill Klein, who will be asking the questions. And if everybody is ready, let's get this show on the road. Bill?
All right, for 5 points, what is the name for an introductory section that precedes the main action of a story?
Corey, Coloma.
Prologue.
That is correct for 5 points. For 10 points, what is the process of using money to make more money called?
Brandon, Coloma.
Investing.
That is correct for 10 points. For 15 points, a German who became a naturalized British subject founded a famous news agency which has been established in London since 1861. What's the agency called?
Alec, Lakeshore.
The BBC.
Incorrect.
Coloma, 5 seconds. Time.
Reuters. For 15 points, name the battle in the American Civil War which is believed to have finally convinced the British not to interfere.
Anna, Lakeshore.
The Battle of Saratoga.
Incorrect.
Coloma, 5 seconds. Corey.
I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, but Antietam.
Antietam, incorrect. It was Gettysburg. For 15 points, eugenics is a branch of biology relating to the improvement of the human race through genetic factors. What is cryogenetics?
Anna, Lakeshore.
The preservation through freezing of genetics, I guess. Of genetic material.
I'm going to have to go incorrect on that
I
one.
think so. Coloma, take a shot at it. Melina.
The freezing of human genetics for future study.
Incorrect, because it's more than just freezing. It's the production and effects of very low temperatures is cryogenetics. For 10 points, 3 of our presidents were born in Massachusetts. John Adams and John F. Kennedy were 2 of them. Who was the other?
Connor, Lakeshore.
John Quincy Adams.
That is correct for 10 points. For 5 points, the 1854 Treaty of Kanawaya allowed limited trade between the United States and what Asian country?
Connor, Lakeshore.
China.
Incorrect.
Coloma, 5 seconds. Corey.
Siam.
Japan. For 5 points, Crater Mound in central Arizona is thought to have been produced by a giant meteorite. Crater Lake in Oregon is believed to have been produced how?
Connor, Lakeshore.
By a asteroid.
Incorrect.
Coloma, 5 seconds. Molina,
Glaciers.
Volcano. For 10 points, did Zeus create Europa, Pandora, Minerva, or Hera to avenge Prometheus' theft of fire?
Alec, Lakeshore,
Minerva.
Incorrect.
Coloma, 5 seconds. No consultation, folks. Molina,
Europa.
Incorrect. Pandora. Pandora's box. For 5 points, Cancer is the faintest of the 12 constellations of the zodiac. In Greek mythology, it represented a crab crushed underfoot by which superhero during his fight with the Hydra?
Connor.
Heracles.
That is correct for 5 points.
Good thing you didn't say Aquaman.
Yeah. It was Iron Man. For 5 points. Adding a lead compound to gasoline permits a higher compression ratio without what unpleasant sound?
Connor, Lakeshore.
A clicking.
Incorrect.
Coloma, 5 seconds.
A lot closer than you thought. It was knocking.
Yeah. I just enjoyed the support you got from the peanut gallery.
For 10 points, Colombia provides over 90% of the world's supply of a precious gem. What gem is it?
Connor, Lakeshore.
Rubies.
Incorrect.
Coloma, 5 seconds. Molina.
Sapphires.
It's emerald, and it's not Columbia gold either. For 15 points. To believe what you thought, to believe that what is true for you in your private heart is true for all men, that is genius. This passage comes from a well-known essay entitled Self-Reliance. Name its equally well-known author.
Alec, Lakeshore.
Emerson.
That is correct for 15 points. You might want to get your pencils out for this one. For 20 points, put these 5 events of the American Revolution in chronological order. The Boston Massacre, the Declaration of Independence adopted, design for the first flag adopted, Paul Revere's ride, Patrick Henry delivered the treason speech telling Virginia to disobey the Stamp Act. Chronological order.
Corey, Coloma.
The massacre, Henry's speech, the midnight ride, the independence adopted, and the forgot the 5th one, but design.
Incorrect.
Design.
Lakeshore, Connor.
Patrick Henry's speech, the Boston Massacre, Paul Revere's ride, the flag, and then the independence adoption.
Incorrect. You had one up until the last two. The Declaration and the flag reversed. It was Patrick Henry, Boston, Revere, Declaration, and the flag. Very good. For 5 points, soldiers who fight for any nation for pay are called what?
Corey, Coloma.
Mercenaries.
That is correct for 5 points. For 5 points, how do you spell mercenary?
Corey, Coloma.
Mercenary.
That is correct for 5 points. A math question for 5 points. The sum of 2 consecutive odd integers is 16. What is the lesser integer?
Alec, Lakeshore.
7.
That is correct for 5 points. For 5 points, another math question. A triangle has a base of 8 and a height of 6. What is the area of a triangle with the same base but twice the height?
Myrna, Lakeshore. Hello.
Oh, yeah. 1 second.
Yeah, you got to get an answer.
48.
That is correct for 5 points. For 10 points, described as America's premier health food fanatic, he traveled far and wide during the 1840s denouncing both white bread and meat, extolling the benefits of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, and their inevitable consequence, bowel regularity. The nutritional guru developed and named after himself whole wheat crackers, which have now evolved into sugary treats containing bleached flour and preservatives. Name him.
Alec, Lakeshore.
Triscuit.
That's beautiful, but
That's the
wrong.
rabbit. Wrong.
Coloma, 5 seconds. Melina.
Twinkie.
Equally as silly and wrong.
Sylvester Graham.
As in, that's correct.
Graham cracker.
Next question, last question of the first half.
For 20 points. These organelles are found in plant cells, but not in animal cells. They are easily observed with an ordinary microscope. They have two principal categories, leucoplasts and chloroplasts. Name these organelles.
Alec, Lakeshore.
Chloroplasts.
Incorrect.
Coloma, any takers? Corey?
Mitochondria.
What? Incorrect. They're just plastids.
My
Plastids.
biology teacher will hate me.
Plastids?
Plastids.
Plastids.
Yes,
All right, well, that's the end of the first half of today's academic challenge. We'll be back with the score in the 62nd round after this on WSJM, the news and talk of Michigan's Great Southwest.
I didn't know that was English either.
Mr. Triscuit.
All right.
All right.
Awesome.
At least they didn't say wheat.
Can we swap people out? Can we swap people out?
That's beautiful. Yes, well, after the 60-second round.
Oh, after the second.
Okay. Places, France, or sewing terms.
Place.
I mean, I would just go with place.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I know sewing terms, but I'd be the only person that knows. Place, France.
We have to go with sewing terms.
We have to pick
Huh?
Answer the biology.
Well, I think it was like chloroplast. That was wrong. That was right. Yeah.
Because you got French history. I've got Myrna probably lived in France. That's close. Yeah, did you live in France?
Not really.
Did you have
Your guys' votes.
How long have you been there?
Place.
I think just got my biology.
Place. I mean,
Okay.
where's it France? Like, place.
I know. We're just
What is for England?
Yeah.
They grew up sewing.
Just we is like saying I am.
Which is a
All right.
All right, people, let's bring it up
I know.
and continue. Here we go. At the end of the first half, the score, Lakeshore 40, Coloma 25. On to the 60-second round. Teams, 3 categories to choose from. We will give you 60 seconds to answer as many of the 10 as you can. Each is worth 10 points. There's a 20-point bonus question if you answer all 10 within the time limit. Pass if you have to, so you don't chew up all your time. You're encouraged to consult with one another, but we must get the answer from the team captain. And after the minute's up, the opposing team has a chance to answer any questions you missed, passed on, or did not get to. In Coloma, you're trailing at the moment. You'll have your first choice of these categories: place, France, sewing terms. What is your choice, please?
Let's go with place.
They're going to go with place. And we'll put 60 seconds on the clock here. And does that need a setup of any kind?
No setup at all.
No setup at all. Whenever you're ready, Bill.
What country is nearly surrounded by the Ligurian, Adriatic, Tyrrhenian, and Mediterranean Sea?
Greece.
Incorrect. What state does the Continental Divide enter Mexico from?
New Mexico.
Correct. Name the 30s divorce capital where Lucy's women awaited their divorces.
Pass.
What is the name popularly given to the sprawling, unsettled lands of Western Australia?
The Outback.
Correct. What is the last capital of the Mississippi before it empties into the Gulf of Mexico?
New Orleans.
Incorrect. The Aleutian Islands separate what sea from the Pacific Ocean?
Pass.
In what city is the University of Pennsylvania located?
Philadelphia.
Correct. What lake in Africa is the source of the Nile River?
Lake Victoria.
That's correct.
And that's 4 correct answers for 40 points for Coloma. Let's reset the clock, and we'll turn the category over to Lakeshore. The ones missed, passed on, or not gotten to. Lakeshore, are you ready?
Yes.
Set the clock. Here we go.
What country is normally surrounded by the Ligurian, Adriatic, Tyrrhenian, and Mediterranean seas?
Italy.
That's correct. Name the 30s divorce capital where Lucy's women awaited their divorces.
Los Angeles.
Rio Nevada. What is the last capital on the Mississippi before it empties into the Gulf of Mexico?
Baton Rouge.
That's correct. The Aleutian Islands separate what sea from the Pacific Ocean?
The Bering Sea.
That's correct. What city is on the Thames River in Connecticut?
Providence. No, that's not in Connecticut. Hartford.
Incorrect. New London. In what Canadian province is the city of Vancouver found?
British Columbia.
Correct.
Is that it? 4 correct. 40 points for Lakeshore. And we'll stay with Lakeshore and allow them then to choose from the remaining categories of France or sewing terms. Where are we going, folks?
We're going with France.
We're going with France. All right. Any setup needed on this one, Mr. Klein?
Well, all the setup is are you ready for a tour of France?
All right, here we go. 60 seconds on the clock. Lakeshore, here we go.
Part of the coast of Provence forms this famous jet set area.
Pass.
This building contains the famous Hall of Mirrors.
The Palace of Versailles.
Correct. This is the most famous church in Paris.
The Notre Dame.
That's correct. This is the most famous museum in France.
The Louvre.
Correct. This river flows from Lake Geneva to the Mediterranean.
The Seine.
Incorrect. This famous monument represents departure, resistance, triumph, and peace.
The Arc de Triomphe.
That's correct. This river forms about 100 miles of the eastern border.
The Seine, or the Rhine.
Correct. A German dialect is spoken in this oft-disputed area.
The Rhineland.
Incorrect. This French island in the West Indies was the birthplace of Napoleon's Empress Josephine.
Corsica.
Incorrect.
Total of 5 correct for Lakeshore on that round, or in that round. And we'll reset the clock, and we'll turn the category over to Coloma to finish it up for the ones missed or passed on or not gotten to. Coloma, here we go.
And again, we're ready for a tour of France. A part of the coast of Provence forms this famous jet set area.
Avignon.
Incorrect. French Riviera. This river flows from Lake Geneva to the Mediterranean.
Champagne.
The Rhone. A German dialect is spoken in this oft-disputed area.
Alsace-Lorraine.
That is correct. This French island in the West Indies was the birthplace of Napoleon's Empress Josephine.
Martinique.
Correct. Which 2 American states are larger in size than France?
Alaska and Texas.
That's correct. That's it.
That's the category?
That's it.
3 correct for Coloma for 30 more points. And that pretty much wraps up the 62nd round. We'll check the scores and conclude the game with the second half here on WSJM, the news and talk of Michigan's Great Southwest. Ta-da.
I am surprised that nobody wanted sewing terms.
You know, I expected sewing terms. Like, no, this is what I've been like. I would have dropped the mic. Like, if you chose sewing terms, that's like dropping the mic. Yeah, thimble, needle, yarn. I know how to sew, obviously. I sound like it. What's up, Connor? New name? Adopting. legally changing an egg?
No, I wouldn't take time.
I should really legally change an egg away from Corey, because there are way too many Corys.
All right. What do we got here? We got a David
There are way too many Corys.
and Zane.
To name me Corey. Really? Way too many Corys. Like I share a lot with Corey.
The most bizarre.
Jared.
The weird
And there's a guy Billy
Your
that
last
just
name
went to the
is my
bathroom.
middle name, which was really kind of creepy.
What's your middle name?
Thomas.
J-E-R.
Famous author.
Jared.
By the way, not sharing a
He
locker.
does.
Zane Grey. Sharing a locker.
Oh,
What's his
yeah.
name? Does she have to
Billy.
switch now?
B-I-L-Y.
Oh,
Use your notes.
well.
You have to. I love this field.
Wait, is she playing?
No, there's not enough
Yeah, what are you
lockers for
doing?
everyone to just get their own lockers.
I'm ready.
16272.
Who's the last one? Billy?
Almost everyone is like doing it
What
by
does this
themselves.
mean?
In my corner. Like I think there's only Austin and Austin share a locker.
I'm gonna get
Austin share a locker as well. It's hilarious. It's like and Matt and Mass. This is wrong.
Oh.
Obama.
This is my phone. She's using it.
Running out of patience.
Yeah.
Cross it out.
How can you draw like
All right.
that?
I'll
Like
be there
fast.
shortly.
Like
You just do.
you just do.
mean,
You're
it's
saying
not
that to the
hard.
guy who can't draw a stick figure right.
When I took French in 7th grade.
Yeah. It's just like the guy that can hit home runs. You just do it.
I mean, I don't know how to, like, you can just practice.
I can
I
name
don't
the Greek capital. That's my skill.
Sparta.
All right. All right.
It probably should be Sparta, but
All right, people, here we go.
After what they did, it should.
The score at the end of the... Let me try that again. The score at the end of the 62nd round, Lakeshore 130, Coloma 95. And it's time now to find out a little bit about what's happening at each of our participating schools in this semifinal match. We'll start with Coloma. Here is Melina.
Hi, as ever, Coloma is very busy right now. And we'd like to start off with some congratulations. We'd like to say congratulations to our Miss Coloma, Macy Welch, who placed at the top 5 at Miss Blossom Time, and to our Mr. Coloma first runner-up, Vaughn Ratty, who was in the top 10 for Mr. Blossom Time, and he won Mr. Nice Guy at the Blossom Time competition. And our robotics team just placed 8th at their recent tournament, and our concert band just received all Division 1 ratings at Festival. And the girls bowling team received 2nd in state, and the choir festival is this week on Thursday. Spring sports are also starting right now. We have our baseball, softball, tennis, soccer, and track teams that are gearing up for the seasons, and we wish them all luck in the next few months in their sports. And we're also getting closer and closer to spring break, which is extremely exciting, and I know all the students can't wait for this break. And we're also getting closer to graduation, which is even more exciting. And we only have 2 months and 12 days until graduation. Which is really
But who's counting?
but yeah, who's counting?
Thank you, Melina. And from Lakeshore, Anna?
All right, welcome from Lakeshore. We're all looking forward to the start of track, girls tennis, baseball, softball, and girls soccer seasons. So good luck to all of those teams as they get started. Our chorale went to their regional festival and received highest marks across the board, so great job to them. Our robotics team season is underway also, and they're attending a bunch of tournaments, so good luck to Team Lancebot. And we're also looking forward, we're all looking forward to spring break and to our quarterly assessments next week.
All right. Thank you, Anna. We have a couple of substitutions. First from Lakeshore in the second chair.
Zane Jr.
Okay, and also,
David Sr.
all right, and a couple of substitutions for Coloma as well in the third chair.
Jared Jr.
Okay, and
Billy Collins Sr.
welcome one and all. This will begin then the second half of today's match between Lakeshore and Coloma, our second semifinal match today, to determine who moves on to the finals next week. So let's get after it, Bill, whenever you are ready.
All right, we're going to do a math question for 10 points. The length, width, and height of a rectangular solid are tripled. By what factor is the lateral area changed?
Zane, Lakeshore.
It's multiplied by 27.
Incorrect.
Coloma. Billy.
Multiplied by 9.
That is correct for 10 points. For 15 points, Eliel Lold and Franz Marc were among the leaders of the Expressionist school of painting. What is their nationality?
Billy, Coloma.
French.
Incorrect.
Alec, Lakeshore.
German.
That is correct for 15 points. For 10 points,
Not much into
a story, play, poem, painting, or sculpture in which the participating personages and objects are the disguised components of a hidden theme, usually moralistic, is called what?
Corey, Coloma.
Abstract.
Incorrect.
Lakeshore, Alec.
Allegory.
That is correct for 10 points. For 5 points, how do you spell noticeable?
Billy, Coloma.
Noticeable.
That is correct for 5 points. For 5 points, 10 points, silence, order, resolution, frugality, industry, sincerity, justice, moderation, cleanliness, tranquility, chastity, humility. America's first publisher had this checklist of 13 virtues he'd review every day because he wished to live without committing any fault at any time. Name this founding father.
Corey, Coloma.
Washington.
Incorrect.
Lakeshore, 5 seconds.
About morals.
Alec.
Franklin.
That is correct for 5 points. From a math question for 15 points. If a hypotenuse of a 30, 60, 90 degree triangle measures 4, what is the measure of the leg opposite the 30 degree angle?
David, Lakeshore.
2.
That is correct for 15 points. For 5 points, what phase of the scientific method is defined as the practice of noticing and recording facts or events?
Corey, Coloma.
Observation.
That is correct for 5 points. You might want to get your pencils out for this one. For 15 points, what is the difference between a caret, C-A-R-A-T, and a carrot, C-A-R-E-T?
Billy, Coloma.
One is a measurement of like gold, and one is dealing with text. The lines on text. In typography.
Incorrect.
Yeah, that's. I think I can see where you're going, but
Yeah.
not quite there. Lakeshore. Take a shot at it. David.
One indicates the weight of a particular jewel, and one indicates the use of an exponent in text.
I think that's correct
Yeah, I
because
think-
it doesn't.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. Is that? It's not a.
Here's the final answer. Caret's a small unit of weight. Caret, C-A-R-E-T, a mark indicating insert here.
Which he's got that.
Yeah.
The weight of the gold. I gotta say no.
All right.
That's just.
Judge
too-
says no.
No.
Close.
Close though. You had the right idea. For 5 points, Einstein's paper on Brownian motion provided the conclusive evidence for the existence of this particle. Its existence was first posited by ancient Greeks. Ernest Rutherford discovered that its nucleus consists of protons and neutrons.
Corey, Coloma.
An atom.
That is correct for 5 points. For 15 points, who became the first layman appointed Chancellor of England when he succeeded Cardinal Thomas Wolsey?
Alec, Lakeshore.
Chamberlain.
Incorrect.
Coloma, 5 seconds. Corey.
Cromwell.
Thomas More. For 10 points. Oh, I knew we'd get to this question. For 10 points, there are 5 regular solids. The tetrahedron, the cube, the octahedron, and the dodecahedron, and the icosahedron. Which of these 3 have triangular faces?
Melina, Coloma.
The sahedron, the last one you said. It's the one with the I.
Okay,
We need 3.
we need 3. Which 3?
Of the 3,
3 of them.
the dodecahedron, the last one, and the tetrahedron.
Incorrect.
Incorrect. Lakeshore. Take a shot at it. Alec?
The dodecahedron, the icosahedron, and the tetrahedron.
Incorrect.
Tetra, octo, and iso.
God, who would have thought of that question out of it? For 10 points, how many pitches does Casey swing at in his last at-bat in the ballad Casey at the Bat?
Anna, Lakeshore?
1.
That is correct for 10 points. For 20 points, Woodrow Wilson had the following inscribed on the entrance to the main post office in New York City. Quote, "Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds." End quote. Who is the author of these words of praise for the Persian postal system?
Anna, Lakeshore?
Benjamin Franklin.
Incorrect.
Coloma, 5 seconds. Corey?
The Postmaster General at the time.
Now, the key there was the Persian postal system. It was Herodotus.
Their Postmaster General at the time.
Yeah, it may have been Herodotus. I don't know. He was for Alexander. For 5 points, the shadow of Munich still lingers over the Olympics. On September 5th, 1972, 11 members of what nation's team were killed by Arab terrorists in Munich?
Alec, Lakeshore?
The USSR.
Incorrect.
Coloma, 5 seconds. Corey?
The Iranian.
The Israeli.
That makes
For
so much
5 points, which side of a ship is the starboard side?
Zane, Lakeshore?
The right side.
That is correct for 5 points. If I can get this page turned. For 10 points, human rights attorney Amal Clay is drawing attention at the European Court of Human Rights, where she is representing what nation in a case involving the 1915 massacre of 1.5 million people?
Alec, Lakeshore?
Palestine.
Incorrect.
Coloma? Corey?
Armenia.
That is correct for 10 points.
Next question, last question of the second half.
For 15 points, a political party whose name is the acronym for Coalition of the Radical Left won decisively at the polls recently in what nation?
Corey, Coloma?
Germany.
Incorrect.
And Lakeshore, 5 seconds. Alec?
Ukraine.
Greece.
No points on that one, and that wraps up the second half of today's academic challenge match in the semifinals between Lakeshore and Coloma. We'll tabulate the scores and come back with the winners after this on WSJM, the news and talk of Michigan's Great Southwest.
Good game, good man.
Yeah, hard-fought battle, folks.
I have some cookies that are in the vending machine, and they didn't go all the way down.
Did you leave your cookies upstairs?
That's a correct answer. Lakeshore, 5 seconds.
That's what I was taking so long.
I'll bet you we'll get your cookies.
Oh, and I have a nickel.
Those cookies the whole time. Just like how out of the blue that was.
Dude, he wants his cookies.
Hey,
Cookies are a serious
You know the
matter.
secret of life, Bill.
Losing your cookies in the vending machine is a national crisis.
Well, I guess pork. The origin of pork.
I hope you enjoy those cookies, Billy.
Are they still stuck there?
Eat those cookies very slowly.
You know, we gotta do some
like
in-depth
wait,
analysis of
I don't know,
like
this would've been
ACT
like
scores.
Oh, yeah.
Ultimate teams to put up
the
here.
tiller.
Got 'em out of the wrong
which is-
bin.
Stewardship is on is right of the outside of the tiller.
Yeah.
Are you working on that?
It's a newfangled machine, Billy.
Yeah, I was just in a rush.
Technology should always be
It's ports. There's only two. That's why they call it a port.
Sheet 8 one.
You got ripped off no matter what
I
happened.
didn't even believe Lady My World History book would help me today.
Reading world history helps in everything.
Yeah,
They
that's the one I was like, oh yeah, turkeys massacred on me.
We're good?
Yep.
We are good. Here we go, people. Let's bring her back and wrap her up. We're back on WSJM's Academic Challenge to announce today's semifinal winner and thank our sponsors. And the winners score 190 to 130. Team from Lakeshore, have a nice hand for the Lancers. Congratulations, thank you, and congrats to the team from Coloma for a great season. We thank you all for joining us on WSJM's Academic Challenge, brought to you by Lakeshore Public Schools, Lake Michigan College, Waterville Community Schools, and by Chemical Bank. And we hope you'll join us again next week when St. Joe and Lakeshore go head-to-head for the championship in this year's Academic Challenge.
Good job.
Thank you, one and all.
St. Joe game.
Very nice.
Take out the Goliath for me.
Yeah.